how we do it.
Hi, I'm Adisola, and I'm here with Raya today.
Yes, and we're back at it again with blog post number 2. We're going to have an overview over the chapters 3, 4, and 5 from the book called Me Talk Pretty One Day by the author David Sedaris.
And this time our topic will be standards and how they can be used both positively and negatively to influence people. And that will all come from chapter 5, The Rooster.
Yes, while I was reading this chapter, I found a statement by Sedaris saying, like most everyone else in our suburban neighborhood, we were raised to meet a certain standard.
Yes. And all this quote is really saying is that their parents wanted them to live and act a certain way. And most of us can relate to this because our parents want the same for us. They want us to grow up to be civilized and respectable adults.
Yes, and although parents do have good intentions when molding their child, this can lead to the judgment of our peers. When other people don't meet our standards, we automatically shun them. Why do you think we do this?
Well, I think that that is because when we meet someone who isn't qualified to those standards we grew up with, we don't react to them the same way we would as if they do qualify to those qualities, those standards. And the chances are we won't treat them in the way they deserve to be treated.
Exactly, and I've seen countless times where in school people are judged and you can't sit with us because you don't meet our standards, stuff like that. We just shut people out instead of trying to understand them.
Clique,
exactly.
Stuff like that.
Exactly, and people really take that kind of stuff to heart. And because we've been so immersed in a certain standard of living, we become closed-minded and we become
Shut
like
out from the world.
Exactly. We stay in our own little bubble instead of trying to venture out and discover new things. And whenever something seems strange or different to us, we either reject it or we believe our way is the only way and it's the right way. So anything other than what we do is considered to be wrong.
And even though, like she mentioned, standards can have a negative impact, we still need standards in our life. They keep us in order, so they still have that good impact for us. And when we have standards, especially good standards to be precise, that can bring the right crowd for us. That can bring them right into our lives.
Exactly. And we usually do attract others like ourselves. We associate ourselves with the same people. And when you surround yourself with similar people, you feel more comfortable and confident. But that still kind of, hurts you because you're not able to understand other people's point of view. And it keeps you from gaining knowledge or even finding better ways to live.
And sometimes as children, they want to venture off into the world and experience new cultures and things they haven't tried before, but parents tend to restrict them from that kind of things because and they fear that they may turn out for the worse.
Exactly. And when parents fail to realize that if you shelter your child too much, that can also cause a problem. Parents really hold their child down and try to form them into something that they want them to be, and the child becomes confused and doesn't feel like they can ever live up to their parents' standards. And even in a secondary source, such as Book Rags, it's stated that Mr. and Mrs. Sedaris are adamant about preventing their child from acquiring the habits of the North Carolina locals. Some examples, and there's really crazy examples, of their restrictions were not being able to say ma'am or sir. They weren't allowed to use conjugates like y'all. But what really got me, I just really didn't understand, was the fact that they couldn't drink Mountain Dew.
And this reasoning, it eluded me as to why they would have this rule. They're saying they can't drink Mountain Dew. Like, why is this soda meant to refresh your body? Why is it even part of your standards? I mean, why do you think that drinking or not drinking this drink? Why do you think it puts you above others? And this is the moment where parents begin to go wrong. They begin to make that mistake of labeling minute preferences that really don't have a big impact on anyone's character. This is where it all goes wrong.
Exactly. Having a drink doesn't make you a bad person or it doesn't make you a good person. It's just something you put in your body. Exactly. And this is it's another situation, another issue that we have to address.
And what do you think we should do? What do you think we should do to change things after we've addressed it?
I think we should start by learning to accept others. We need to learn to accept their culture, their way of living. We should stop being judgmental and dismissive about things we lack knowledge of. Instead, we need to ask questions and become open-minded.
Yes. And also, parents, they need to let their kids experience the world for themselves. They need to let them see how things work through their own eyes and let them come up with their own opinions about the world. And not only should children enlighten themselves about the ways of the world, parents should also do the same because, as you know, the world is always changing. New things are always happening. New cultures are always being formed. So we can't be stuck in the past. We have to be able to be knowledgeable about what's going on right now. So if anyone comes up to us in the street, we won't be left looking stupid or ignorant. And
Exactly.
To be honest, there's several ways for us to become knowledgeable about the ways of the world. I mean, we just have to be willing to try them out. And some ways that I found is that research. I mean, you go online, you research cultures, you read open books, you read them. You can go out on the street, meet new people, lots of different cultures walking up past you every day. And museum nowadays, they have a lot of stuff from different cultures, Museums, they have cultures from Africa, Asia, Europe, all around the world. And the best solution I have found for learning about a new culture would be to actually visit that place where the culture was born.
See it for yourself.
That is the number one solution for becoming immersed in a new culture and becoming knowledgeable about it.
Yes, and not only do we have to be open-minded about learning, we have to be open-minded about teaching others. Don't be offended or upset when someone asks you a question about their culture. They might just lack that knowledge. They might not mean to offend you.
They don't mean to be intrusive. They just want to know. They want to learn about it.
Exactly. Just simply inform them of your culture. I'd rather someone know the truth about my culture than them to keep going on with a stereotype about it that's wrong. Simply inform them because everybody does not know.
Yes. Well, thank you for watching blog post number 2. See you next time.